Hello, besties. It's been a hot minute, huh? Yeah, for those of you playing catch up, we are on monthlies because it is crazy over here. Ashley's book and all of the things happening and schedules and life, all that fun stuff. So if you've missed us, we've missed you too. Trust. Ashley does have a little news, though, about that book, don't you?
Well, I did. My publisher emailed me this week, and my book hit on Kindle #1 bestseller in the HR and personnel management category. And so I was very excited.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So thank you. Also, thank everyone for reading and sharing. And if you've read it, leave a review. So thank you. It helps.
Yes. Oh, go check out Manager Method, the Manager Method, all of that. It is on shelves now. How crazy is that, right?
It is. It still is surreal. Although I was on a trip on spring break and we went and there's a big bookstore down at the beach. And my friend's like, do you want to go in and see if your book's there? And I was like, I don't think it'll be there. And we went around. No, it was not there. And I was like, this isn't so much a beach read. It's an office read. But, then I picked up some random book. I just picked it up and went to and bought it, obviously, to be there, not just turn around awkwardly. But when you do find it, it's exciting.
You're right.
Do you happen to have this book?
My book's not here. I'm not buying anything.
It looks like you. It's not me.
It was just sold out, Ashley.
There you go.
Come on. You know it was all over the beach.
Of course.
All the books laying out,
Who needs yesteryear when you can have some management tips,
Right? While I lay it out in the sun. That's nice. Well, I got a little treat for you, Ashley, because I had a dream a couple of nights ago.
I've missed your dreams, Leigh.
Every night they're popping. I do not have to do illegal drugs.
You can choose to, but
Oh my God. Yeah, I could choose to. I know. Yeah. I mean, I do legal ones, all of the drugs, but highly recommend Love Science. My dreams are vivid. Okay. So you'll love this. Someone, a very lovable character of ours now, Thomas J. Henry, made a reappearance.
Oh,
Bestie.
not TJ.
He made a reappearance. Yes. And for those of you who aren't in Texas or in the legal field, or I don't know. I mean, this guy seems to be everywhere.
Or an OG listener.
Or an OG listener. I said orgy listener. Oh my God.
Or that too.
An OG listener or whatever, right? I mean, no judgment. Thomas J. Henry is an attorney, like a high-powered defense attorney. Is that what you'd call him, Ashley? A defense attorney? What is he?
I think he's on the plaintiff's side. I think he's a personal or injury attorney, which is why he's, by far the most successful in his settlements. He doesn't get paid unless we get paid, and he's getting paid. So,
and he's taking most of it, I'm sure. God love him. So we are like at this offsite. All right, it's a work thing. And he's the boss. He's like the CEO. And, I've pretty much my entire career have done, HR client support, right? I was going to say the bitch for the head guy in charge. And that is true, but it's a little, I was going to be a little more PC about it. I was like his HR person. That's what it felt like in the dream, right? I didn't see an org chart or anything, but we're doing this event and he and I were laughing off to the side and whatnot. Maybe it's a little flirty. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm just saying it didn't go that way, unfortunately. But all of a sudden, George Costanza walks up.
What?
George Costanza walks up, not Jason Alexander, George Costanza. So not the actor, but actually George. And I love Seinfeld. Okay. George Costanza walks up and they start chatting. And for whatever reason, I reach into my pocket because all of a sudden I had pockets. I was like in a trench coat all of a sudden. Weird. I reach in and I grab a pastry out of my pocket and start eating it. I've never done that, but it's not beneath me. I would do that. But I've just said at that point, I've done all sorts of things, but I haven't done that one. But in the middle of this thing, I just reach into my pocket and grab a pastry and I start eating it. And George Costanza was like, really? You're eating a pastry out of your pocket? And that's where the dream ended. So that guy that freaking ate an eclair off the top of the trash,
Yes.
famous episode of Seinfeld, he's judging me for eating pastry pockets.
Look, yeah, pocket pastries are delicious. Also, I posted a George Costanza meme today about
No way.
about, the licking of the envelopes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Susan. Poor Susan.
I literally posted it today.
What?
Are you that? Oh, damn, that's weird. That's crazy.
Wow.
It's so funny. On Millennial Misery. Go look, like an hour ago.
That's freaky.
Because when did we talk about George Costanza? Never. I mean, we've never, like, oh my God, are you serious? That's so weird.
I know.
Oh, man.
I miss your dreams. I love it. And it just pops in there. Let me ask you this. Would you rather have as a coworker Thomas J. Henry or George Costanza?
George Costanza. He's going to make you look good.
George Costanza, he would make us laugh. Are you kidding? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas J. Henry is your boss because he would supply, as we know, really nice parties if you look him up.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for our invite. I know George Costanza, he would be a bit of an HR nightmare because he's absolutely one of those
For sure.
performance issues
Mhm,
that's gone on
mhm.
for years, the napping under the desk. But he's a personality hire if there ever was one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. I adore him. But I thought you'd like that. Shout out to Thomas J. Henry and George Costanza. But to judge me, though,
Yeah.
to judge me when he ate an eclair off the top of a trash can at a child's birthday party.
Projection. Well, it's a reminder. I know it's a bit of conference season for those going to, HR conferences or work conferences. I will recommend a practice. I didn't do this intentionally. I got a special bag a couple years ago, one of the first conferences we'd gone to together. I'd gotten it to have manager method business cards, HR Besties business cards, to have these multiple pockets. But what I didn't realize is it had an extra pocket. Oh, what am I going to do with this? Snacks. Walking around the conference, I'd have almonds, a cookie. I mean, I remember going through it, and I think it was Leigh was like, "How long you been holding on to that?" I'm like, "Oh, so ever since about 7 or 17 rows ago." Just having that is a best practice for the conferences, in addition to your large, duffel bags that they'll give you. But get a good conference bag.
Yeah. We're pro pastry pockets here.
Sure.
Triple P for life. Oh, well, what is happening in the world of HR or work? There's some drama out there. Y'all need to catch me up.
Jamie alerted us to one, but then we were like, you know what, don't look into it because we'll talk about it on the podcast. So I had seen it, but I don't know if you have, Leigh. Jamie, what about JP Morgan?
Yeah. So there was some crazy
Jason Alexander's.
Brain.
allegations. So, I literally cannot get it out. It just saved my life.
Girl, say it. You got it. I know you have it in you.
No, I literally can't just say it. I can't. I can't even remember the people's names, to be honest. But essentially, there was a male coworker and a female coworker, and at JP Morgan Chase. And this woman was an executive. However, he did not report to her. He Daily Mail reported some pretty wild accusations. I mean, stuff like she was drugging him with Viagra. She would come to his apartment and demand sex, that he became her sex slave. She would call him his little brown boy. I mean, stuff that I read and I was like, that didn't happen. Even myself, I was like, no, that didn't happen. But I still read it and I saw all the memes that came out and I was like, I'm not going to do, I purposely was like, I'm not doing a video on this because I didn't feel good about it. It just made me feel icky. And sure enough, not even a day later, the New York Post comes out with an article saying that JP Morgan Chase did a full internal investigation and there was completely unfounded, also allegedly. And they did a full investigation and they checked computers, they checked messages, emails, door records, badge records. They checked everything they could internally. One thing that he had accused her of was that she said that she would take away his bonus, but he didn't directly report to her. They were actually on the same team, but there was no way that she could have affected his bonus in any way whatsoever. So essentially, it's alleged that he possibly fabricated all this because he wanted a large settlement, close to the millions of dollars when he was let go. So I actually did a TikTok on this when I read it. And what was the most disappointing in me is the amount of men that commented not only on my TikTok, but on my Instagram. First of all, siding with the man, because of course, and they were like, I can't believe you would believe a corporate HR department. Well, of course I would. I've been in HR for 23 years. Yes, I would. But also I believe women. So there's that, over a man who was trying to get millions of dollars. And then someone else sent me another article that he lied about his father dying to get bereavement.
That's
Yeah, that old song and dance. Wow. Yeah.
That was, I spoke yesterday at a conference and I was talking about this with the JP Morgan of how it's, you have investigations and that's why it's important to figure out who's going to investigate, look into things. But that one of the things that came out of it, again, the back and forth allegations you do see. But when I saw, he took bereavement leave, 5 days paid leave. So, kudos, silver lining, kudos for having a good, generous bereavement policy. And please don't take it away based on the exception of those who abuse it. But the New York Post said, ironically, we did talk to his father over the weekend who...
With a Ouija board. Oh, wow.
We talked to him in heaven.
I struggle with it because, but even you hear things and people are like, okay, believe women. But if anybody's listening to the Love Trapped podcast, it's like the number one podcast right now, which is about Laura Owens and Clayton Echard. It makes things, there's a reason that you investigate. And again, these exceptions of people making things up, they do happen. Unfortunately, in my personal experience, they are absolutely the minority. And so it's important to go through. When I first saw the allegations, I don't know that I thought that they were wrong. When he first came out with them, I thought, you know what, boy, some crazy stuff can happen in investment banks, law firms, consulting firms. All of that. But then when it flipped and came out,
well, yeah.
Again, like when organizations do investigations like that, it's kind of hard because sometimes they'll bring in like an external law firm and you're like, are you really trying to find the truth or are you really trying to shut it down?
Or are you trying to cover it up? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard because what I found in HR is people like, we're trying to get to the heart of the matter. And that's what does make it so infuriating when you see apparently fabricated allegations, but they pay out. I saw that same thing that they had offered him allegedly $1 million to settle. And he was like, no, I want $11 million. And, I guess they're obviously at an impasse, but it's a mess.
What an idiot.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, he should have just taken that and walked then. Because did he create evidence? What was he thinking?
There wasn't evidence that he could even create.
Well, did you hear what he did with AI?
No.
He went and I don't know if he used his real name, but there's like an AI platform that is part of their website to show examples of how you can use it. There's someone that people like, it's him, in like a few months ago had asked a prompt of like, what do I do if I've, I won't use the words on the podcast, but very triggering words of inappropriate things happen to me at work. And it was very similar to the allegations he came out with, but he used the he pronoun. Like, what if he did this to me? And so people are like, wait, was he trying to build his story with that? But again, as we say, AI is not a diary nor an encyclopedia. And people find that stuff.
Heavens.
So, if I'm that female executive, is this not criminal?
Well, she could sue for defamation, right? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Right. What could she do? Because as an organization, I know when we've had issues like that, it's like you have to call the police yourself. You have to you know what I mean? Like we as an organization or, company, legal entity, we're not going to press charges, but you are welcome to, and we will allow the police to come in here. You know what I mean? Like they get so, nitpicky. So what could she do?
Well, so one thing is if you put things in a legal document, like a complaint, in the US, at least, that is protected from defamation. So he can allege these things in a court document. And so back and forth in those documents, that's generally protected from defamations. So defamation is it has to be untrue. So like if someone were to be like, well, I don't want to give a personal example. I'm trying to think of something in the moment. Something mean.
I know. Like, you're ugly, Leigh.
It has to be untrue. And so if it's an objective fact, if it's someone's opinion, then that doesn't tend to rise to the level of defamation. And it has to be, again, there's some different standards if it's a celebrity, a known figure, or if it's a more, ordinary citizen, which this executive would probably fall under that. And so if he was going around telling people things and putting this out places, then that could potentially be. But in a lawsuit in particular, that's something people don't always realize. Unbelievable as it is, that is generally protected in the US. And so, yes, but things have to be untrue. And then there's slander and libel, which are aspects of defamation. One is written, one is spoken. And that's the end of my law school lesson.
Because Kash Patel is suing the Atlantic reporter for defamation right now for true statements.
Well, he's suing her because of allegations of being alcoholic. And so it's like in that situation, it's not a court document. It would be whether she publicized that. And so that's would fall out of the defamation exception.
Oh, okay.
So if I was JP Morgan, and sometimes I wish I was, how would I handle this now when it comes to the executive, right? I mean, am I trying to pay her in some way? Do I want an NDA? I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we protect ourselves as an organization now? Like, what can she do?
I mean, that's one of the areas that get tricky because there's the legal aspect, but one of it is, backing up from the lawyer perspective is if you have an executive and someone has apparently falsely accused someone of very specific things and now it's all over the news, an NDA isn't really going to do anything, or her natural inclination is going to say, wait, why do I need to sign an NDA? All of these allegations were about me. And again, one of the things that can happen in an investigation if it gets tricky is, let's say in the investigation, they say like, oh yeah, much of this was fabricated, but other things of whether she said I'm going to affect his bonus or anything like that. Well, what if that's problematic? And that's where it gets really hard and you have to make judgment calls. But when you have a situation where, again, someone is really apparently falsely accused or you've come to that conclusion, supporting them in the best ways you can and letting them say their piece and working with them to say whether you want to say something or not, that is your choice, giving them that power and supporting them. To me, even as a lawyer, you're not going to win this by trying to clamp it down and have NDAs and, oh, should we get her out of here? Because that does happen as well. Well, could be she doesn't want to work there anymore. This whole situation is so wild to say the least, but it's one of those tricky situations. But so often I do think organizations will over lawyer it and things like that. Like have them sign an NDA. Like, why don't we have her sign a separation agreement without thinking of the real human of feelings that can happen, even if you are a very highly paid exec at a very well-known company.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. God, is that not HR nightmare fuel? Like having one of your investigations blow up globally like that? Oh my God.
I know. I feel awful for her. And her face was plastered all over the internet. I mean, the countless memes, the disgusting things that men were saying, like, I wish she was my boss. There was, I guess, a junior analyst position posted in that same department, and 24,000 men applied for that job. It's just it's so gross. So fucking disgusting, honestly.
No, investigations are no... There really can be no fun, especially when you're trying to balance it. But I bet you whoever that was investigating it that found these things that proved it wrong, you've never seen someone circle those wagons quicker than well, let me show you this.
Oh my gosh. So more to come on that, I'm sure.
More to come. Well, it reminds me a bit, and we've talked about some of these SHRM lawsuit updates where, again, the verdict from last year, that $11.5 million, SHRM has officially filed its appeal since we had our last episode. So it's being appealed to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. And so that means documents will go back and forth. The judge's opinion was pretty savage. That being said, you'd kind of expect it because before they filed their appeal to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, when SHRM had to say, hey, judge, you were wrong, we should have won, and all these things. Again, it was... Whenever you're suggesting to a judge that they made the wrong decision, they don't tend to agree. So I'll give them a bit of a pass on that. But so now they've appealed. And so a lot of it's on legal technicalities, very fascinating things like jury instructions. But Another case that came about, I mentioned this is like service dog lawsuit, and it's in the Rocket Docket, Leigh's old boyfriend's name, Rocket Docket.
Yeah, date school.
In the District of Virginia. I mean, that one really is cruising along. And so Discovery was supposed to be up on that in June, so pretty soon. And so I had just glanced at the docket as my, periodic hobby and was surprised to see all these like filings in there. And I saw that the plaintiff have filed what's called a motion to compel. Now, those have ever been involved in litigation may know this, but that's in the discovery process back and forth. If I'm like, Jamie and Leigh are suing me and we exchange things back and forth. If I'm not giving all the answers that you want or back and forth, you try to figure it out. But sometimes you go to the judge and you're like, hey, mom or dad, we're fighting. Let's come up with this resolution. And one of the things that happens with now is with email search terms. Again, very exciting, but it's like for SHRM, for example, because this candidate who had her job offer rescinded after she'd requested a service dog, she's saying that this is discrimination. And so trying to figure out, emails and things to go through, her lawyers have said, well, SHRM's not using enough search terms. Like they wouldn't search just for Fiona, they're saying, for example, like, should we do that? Should we not? Because it's a bit more of an unusual name. And SHRM's like, okay, but Torres is more common. Like, okay, back and forth. And it's literally these conversations. And I only know about it, and anybody can, because it's on the PACER docket. And so the plaintiff filed this motion, spelling out all these things they want SHRM to do. And SHRM responded. And I was looking through, and because I was like, this is a very long filing for a response. One of the things they have in there is they have a little footnote that's like, okay, right, the plaintiff's asking us for things, but the plaintiff also hasn't provided things we want her to provide, including voice memos. Like she's given us text messages and things like that, but not these underlying voice memos. See exhibit, like I think it was 6. Okay. So I go, let me see exhibit 6. Oh my gosh. I've never seen anything like this in a lawsuit. Truly haven't, having done employment law, but they filed like 35, 36 or more pages of screenshots of the plaintiff's personal text messages with different people as she was going through the interview process, as she was waiting on her thing to be whether rescinded or not. And it is because, and the reason they're entitled to things like that is because the plaintiff is saying like damages, like emotional damages and compensatory damages, like this really affected me. And so that's some of the reason that they can get her personal text messages. But it's wild. I mean, I kind of laughed. Well, yes, it definitely feels invasive, especially for the other people that don't realize, like, gosh, this could be in court one day. But it really goes into this aspect of like, what do damages look like? And it's interesting because, again, I could have seen like SHRM saying like, yeah, we're waiting on things for plaintiff and having a couple screenshots, but it was so many. But some of them, I was like, these people's name on the text message was not Jamie Jackson, but it's like total Jamie energy. Like when they were figuring out whether to rescind her offer, I guess she's like waiting on them. And she's like, like this is how they're treating me now. I can't even imagine being an employee. Also, she was messaging with someone about the dress policy. She's like, whatever, wearing jeans to the office, just one day a week or whatever. And she's like, yeah, like, for like ridiculous, like making me commute to Egypt from, whatever far away. It is kind of funny on those hands, but also some of it, I'm just surprised because I actually, in front of a jury, I'd be very interested to see how this would play out, because some of them show her mindset of like the Jamie-esque messages were like, beep SHRM and very riding along with you. But anyway, it remains to be seen what'll happen with it. They had the hearing before the judge, and judging from the document, the judge told them to go outside and figure it out and then come back and have any remaining questions. And ultimately, they're like, SHRM needs to search a few more search terms, I guess, is the resolution. They didn't say which ones, but judges do not like discovery disputes and things like that. So if you're in HR, just know your legal fees will go up substantially if you have those kind of fights about discovery things.
It's just so petty. You think they'd have better things to do or spend their money on, or, you know what I mean?
All of it together. I mean, litigation is, again, like as you think about things like investigations, or you think about how you treat people, and I know HR sometimes is told, we need to make a change, get rid of this person. I mean, there are such real examples about treating people, whether it's performance or accommodations or anything like that, that the human aspect really matters a lot. But if you don't do it, or you do it in a way that feels really unfair, that process of litigation is just miserable.
I couldn't do it. I can see why you transitioned, Ashley.
I mean, now I do feel like I have this wholesale perspective on it because now I look at these things and I'm like, I can see it. But one of the things I see is lawyers, and on both sides, it's like like almost like demonizing the other. Like I know employer side employment lawyers that they view plaintiffs as like the enemies. I've heard people literally describe it as, people that are just out to make a buck, and just, it is like you forget that the person on the other side is a human, whether you agree with them or not. And again, there are going to be times people bring claims that are not true, but you forget that side, but you like demonize them. And on the flip, like the lawyers on both sides, sometimes it's just so nasty and you go back and forth. And I didn't like that. And so I like now to use those lessons in my manager training business and book. It's a much better to be on the preventative side for me, at least.
I know. Speaking of transferable lessons, that's what I was thinking.
Jamie, how's your job, speaking of?
No, for real. So I was telling these ladies before we hopped on, I am officially the PTO president for the next school year, which is the 2026-27 school year. However, the current PTO president is on maternity leave, so I've already assumed the duties. But I was telling the ladies, this is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I have been busting my ass. And I was just saying, like, what a thankless job this is. And it's so similar. The line is so similar to being in HR because I have no budget. I'm trying to take care of all these teachers. Like I was trying to take care of my employees. Once again, I have zero budget, and you want to do food because it's easy, but I don't want to do food because food's like, not everyone wants food and people have allergies, and like you want to be inclusive. And honestly, it's exhausting. Like it truly is exhausting. And like the line makes sense of why I'm here today. And I girl bust a little too close to the sun, and so this is why I'm here now. And I will be happy to give it back though when she's ready to come back, because this was a I'm helping her out thing, but I will be done.
But then you won for next year though, right?
Yeah, I'll be it next year, but then I will be giving her crown back. I will not be doing it again. I will be happy to help and in any way I can. And these women are, I know some ladies, I got some weird comments actually on Instagram. They're like, I don't know, PTO, we're always bitchy ladies. And I'm like, good God, I'm sorry, all your ladies were bitchy. Like these women that I've been working with have actually been very nice and welcoming. But these people are doing this for free. They're donating their time, their energy, and it's been a wonderful experience. I get to see my child during the day, which I've never been able to do working. So I've enjoyed it, but I will be ready to give up this.
I like how Leigh said you won the title.
I did win this title, unfortunately.
It does sound like a bit like HR though. Like, oh, everybody I know is not very nice. That's what people say about HR sometimes, as we know.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you did a ton for Teacher Appreciation Week, and still someone complained about something. You know what I mean? Like typical HR. They didn't like the flavor of something, or why can't there be this or that? Or, I mean, it does. I'm allergic to this, or all the things, The
road to hell is paved with good intentions.
That's it right there.
It is so, so true. So I have a wrap-up question for you all. This week, as I'm recording this, I spoke to a local SHRM chapter and talked about that these are organizations that are made up of volunteers that have full-time HR jobs and are doing this to provide resources, and just some of the best organizations. Shout out to the Great River chapter. Jamie was out at Virginia Beach a couple weeks ago, and just awesome people looking for resources. And so anyway, one question that someone brought up to me, they're like, this resonated with your talk about trying to be the cleanup person. Like you join an organization and people just expect, you're going to fix this. So, any just wanted a quick words from anyone, if you have tips for those in HR that are either brought into an organization or just doing your job and people are like, can you fix this as HR, and being the cleanup person?
Yeah. I used to take on a lot more earlier in my career, as we all do, because we have to learn and all of this, And then at some point, I had the epiphany that this is really a team sport, and we are all accountable. We're accountable to the culture. We're accountable to our employees. We are all accountable. Because even if I were to just, flip a switch or change something in a system or whatnot, we are all still accountable to shifting our behaviors and our language and our processes and adhering or whatever the case may be, right? I mean, so this notion that HR is just the cleanup crew or the junk drawer for bullshit, I think that we need to take the onus of, upon ourselves as HR professionals to ensure we are always treated as professionals and part of the team. No one gets to toss turds over my fence anymore. It's been years since I allowed that shit. I push right on back. I don't care who you are. I mean, I've had some really candid, hard conversations with CEO level folks that, respectfully, that's not one of my priorities. I have, I can support, I can coach, I can help, I can, be part of the team, but that's not on me to fix that shit just because I'm good at doing stuff. You know what I mean? We need to hold whoever owns it accountable so they can learn and develop or fail and learn that way, right? I mean, whatever the case may be, but it can all come to us. So I think, stopping the people pleasing and just remembering the badass professionals that we are, like putting that first is very important.
I think what I was going to say, I think I might have interpreted your question a little differently, but like when I'm in a new role, one thing I'm doing differently now that I did earlier in my career is I'm actually taking like the first couple 6 months maybe to more observe and not being so quick to like, well, I'm going to change everything and I'm going to fix everything, because a lot of times there is a method to the madness that the previous person had put in place. And even though it doesn't necessarily make sense to me right at the beginning, it might in a few months. And I'm like, oh, I see why they were doing it this way. And I get it now. And maybe we can improve on it, but there's a reason they set it up that way. And I'll be honest, that happened to me earlier in my career. I have stormed in. I got my new title and I was promoted and I was a director. And I walked in and I changed all the things, and then I realized I've actually fucked up because I thought that that's what I had to do. And so I realized that later in the career that if I just observe, there's still things, yes, of course, there's always things to improve, and to make better. But if I could just observe first and really take an inventory, and like you said too, Leigh, is this is a team sport, and the team isn't just HR, it's ops, it's it's everyone, it's accounting, and you do have to push back, and you can't just be a people pleaser and take everything on yourself and clean up the mess.
Well, I have this pause, consider, act framework that's in my book and in my trainings and things. And the way I bring it to life is thinking about the person on the other side of that and what's driving them, the pressures that they're probably having that they may not articulate to you, or you may not realize how much they affect them personally, but also providing context, because whether it's sending in a meeting invite, not having an answer, someone's going to think, or not having a reason for it, the recipient, if they're your employee, they're going to think they're getting fired. Like, people in any situation fill emptiness or lack of knowledge with the worst case scenario. Sometimes that's about themselves and sometimes it's about you. And so same, if you come in and start doing things, even if you've been told, oh, you're in HR, your job is to fix things, you come in hot, people are going to dislike you. And that is going to affect the results that you have. And so providing context, whether it's to the CEO that says, go fix everything, this is your world. Okay, fair enough. But if I come in and I'm telling everybody what to do, I'm going to lose people like that. So I do want to take the opportunity to listen and get their perspective and then see what I have to shape and move with speed on that. So provide that reassurance as you're talking to other people, saying, yeah, I'd love to know what you wish more people, including people in HR, knew about your role. Because I may have ideas, but that's what my job is. Providing context as much as possible and giving an explanation to fill in those gaps can make your own life so much easier.
That pause, consider, act, people. The manager method out on shelves. Get it now.
Love it.
Leigh's book for pre-sale, right, Leigh?
Yeah, the book, it's called Workable. And it is up on pre-sale, but just like under the radar, like it's being built out. You know what I'm saying? like the cover is not up there yet. Like I'll announce it when it's like all ready, but crazy. January 2027.
It's all exciting. Meanwhile, Jamie's going around meeting with her new constituents in her PTO role, interviewing everybody, students in the carpool line. If you see President Jackson coming through, she's a woman of the people. She's leading you.
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Cool, because no one knows what I do outside of the PTO. It's pretty awesome.
Well, this is your new identity. I'm looking forward to your new Instagram account dedicated to PTOing. So
literally. That would be fun. Bye, besties.
George Costanza, we trust.
Exactly.
Love ya. Bye, besties.